today is tax day. And obviously people are clamoring about their taxes, and perhaps they should be concerned about just not getting their taxes filed.
Well, what they should be concerned about is other people filing their taxes on their behalf.
Right.
Great article on Krebs on Security today about a web-based control panel that Krebs found, or was shown, that some group is using to coordinate fraudulent tax returns. Now, what it looks like is that about half a dozen companies have been compromised, the personal information stolen, which is pretty standard in this sort of attack. But what's happening is the criminals are actually using that personal information to file tax returns and then get back money, which they use. They get those prepaid credit cards and use those, send those to mules to cash out. It's that same sort of life cycle. The unique part is that tax return portion of it. And it seems that the web control panel that was found is fairly sophisticated, very organized. It's not just one or two guys somewhere in a basement doing this. It seems like they know what they're doing. They're tracking the status of every single return that's filed. And this is pretty serious stuff, and something that people should be worried about this time of year.
Right. So it seems like perhaps the countermeasure, and perhaps we're a little bit late for this, but the countermeasure would be to file early, right? Make sure you get the real one filed in early, so that the crime folks aren't able to actually file on your behalf, and they could perhaps try to do an amendment or something like that. But I would think at that point you've probably nailed in your address and where the return is going to and that such, so it would be more difficult to change those things. Do you think that's perhaps accurate?
It certainly wouldn't hurt. A lot of the people who reported in that they were victims of this fraud found out that they'd filed their taxes, and the IRS came back and said, you've already done this, why are you doing it again? There is a PIN number that's being offered as a second factor of authentication in many of these cases. Unfortunately, it seems like some of the victims in this case, the PIN was actually part of the compromised data. So anything that you can present as your authentication can typically be stolen in this manner.
Right, so if you've typed it in on a computer or something like that as you're preparing to return and perhaps haven't filed yet, perhaps that would be a possibility.
Or if you have someone filing for you and you have to share the PIN with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Gee, I wonder if, like with my taxes, I always owe, so I wonder if they'd pay for my taxes as well. Submit that to the government.
I don't think that's going to happen.
They're not going to do that for me?
No, I don't think that's going to happen here. I think they're loading up on the ATM cards. So I don't know, Jim, do you have any thoughts?
Just that it's, I've been hearing other reports of the tax fraud kind of stuff, and that's not really our thing, but it's the folks who get in there first and claim refunds even if the user isn't necessarily due one, and then when the real paperwork catches up, then it's the legitimate user who seems to be on the wrong end of things here. Filing early helps, but if you can get in ahead of the bad guys.
Yep, absolutely. Get ahead of them.